All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There's no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Welcome to episode 1106 of the Geek News Central podcast. It's Thursday, March 31st. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider or simply paypal.me/geeknews. You can visit our gear store at cafepress.com/Ohana store. You want to give a warm welcome to the Ohana and all the brand new listeners to the show. Hey, everyone, welcome. Got a great show lined up for you today. Lots to share. And yes, this time after the show is completed, I will hit publish on the website. We'll talk about that more in a few seconds. But if you're brand new to Geek News Central, I want to welcome you to the show. I want to encourage you to go over to geeknewscentral.com. When you're on the website, you can very easily subscribe to the show via the iTunes link on Android, via email, or just a standard RSS feed. If you don't know what any of that means, click the more subscribe options. That'll get you dialed in on how to subscribe to the show, so that way you can listen to the show on demand. We want you to get hooked up with a newsletter as well. The newsletter contains everything that I'm going to cover in the show today. It will be put out on the website immediately following the show, so definitely give that a hookup as well. Hey, one thing while we're on the website, and for those of you watching the video, and actually I need to scroll down here and get to an area where you can actually see it. Have all of you noticed the brand new audio player? Have you guys noticed this on the website yet? Have you noticed the new functions here with the share button, subscribe, download, show notes, all this cool stuff with this brand new player? I'm really excited to be putting that on the website now. And this is a new player that we've came out with at Blueberry.com. It's not tied into our PowerPress plugin yet, but it will be soon. So this is just grabbing the embed off Blueberry.com and putting it on Geek News Central in place of the normal player. But the reason I love it the most is that it has none of our branding on it. It has my branding. It has links to all my subscribe options, whether it be MyCast, whether it be iTunes, Android, via email. So it really ties everything that's currently in the website back. It's got some cool graphics. So you got the ability to share on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn, share by email. There's lots of cool options with this thing. So come over and play with it. And just go to the show notes and you'll see it. And I think once you do, you're going to be jazzed as I am. The movement, just the graphic movement alone of how the plugin works, it's slick. It's really, really slick. So anyway, I'm very proud of that and the team and having put it together and finally getting it on the street. It was in dev for a while. But anyway, of course, again, warm welcome to the longtime listeners, family members of the show, the Ohana. Thanks for being here. And all of you that are insiders as well, supporting this show on a monthly basis, thank you so much. We can use your insider support now more than ever. So I'm encouraging you, please, to consider becoming an insider if you're not already. geeknewscentral.com/insider. If it's $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 a month, doesn't matter. Come on in there and get connected and help support the show long term with your monthly contribution. Of course, we want you to connect with me on the show, and if you have comments, you can follow me on Twitter at Geek News. And really, it's all about staying, keeping the feedback coming. So, did I push the right button? How come it's not moving? Okay. All right, there it goes. Now it's moving. Geeknews@gmail.com is the email address. And I'm getting used to this new build on the TriCaster. Matter of fact, I got the show started a little bit late today because I was trying to figure out how to make something work that worked before. I'm just going to have to go to their forum and ask for help. Cried Uncle here, I played with as long as I could to figure it out. But yeah, a few button changes here that aren't as responsive and not what I'm expecting. So just a little bit of a hand memory to relearn here. But anyway, again, contact me via email at geeknews@gmail.com, via Twitter @geeknews. You can follow me on Google Plus, on Facebook. You can watch the show on the Roku or on the Apple TV. You, of course, can listen on the Amazon Echo by telling Alexa to play the latest edition of the show using the show name. You can listen on Stitcher. Of course, you can watch or listen at blueberry.com. I want to thank our partner shows, No Better Than Average with Jacob and Jeff, Health Tech Weekly with Jamie Davis, The Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. And sadly, I do not know what has happened to Todd. He informed me that they were going to be going at least 3 more months, and he has fell off the face of the earth, and I have no idea what's going on and why. So, Todd, please, please, please send me an email. Let me know what happened. Did you pull the plug early, or did you give me the wrong date? I'm totally confused. But anyway, navigation's off the website for the Elder Divide at this point, and I still got all of his blog data. Just need a domain to point it at. So we'll think about figuring that out as well, because there was a lot of great content that he put up on his website. Of course, we got the Pro Gear site with the GNCT writing on that. It's going to explode here in the next week or two as we get ready to go to NAB. And still working on my new network idea. Just waiting on some server administration people to do some things, and we'll be ready to launch this new network that I've been working on for a while. And in principle, I think we're ready to go. Just need the server components in motion, and hopefully that can happen in a very short order. Longest continuous sponsor of a podcast, that is this show's sponsor, GoDaddy.com. And GoDaddy's been with us here 10, or actually 11 years now, just about 11 years, I guess. And I want to thank them so much for their ongoing support. Didn't look at the numbers today. I think we're a little bit behind for the month. So all I can say is those of you that support the show, thank you so much. But if you're looking for a hosting product, if you're looking for a dedicated server, if you're looking for something for your business to either start up a mailing list with Mad Mimi, a variety of different products and services, GoDaddy really has everything. I mean, everything that you need to get online and build the platform or build the site of your dreams and build a brand and do crazy cool things on the internet. And to get a podcast started, to get a blog started, get a family website started, and hundreds and thousands of templates to choose from, so that there's really something there for everyone. You really need to know nothing, just some basic questions you have to answer during setup. They have an outstanding database, FAQ, help and answer questions, and great support. So definitely check the products and services out at GoDaddy. It is a completely different company than what it was when it started sponsoring this show. Very serious business-wise for men and women. Whole different company mantra. Lots of great ladies in power over there. Matter of fact, the team that I've worked with for the support and sponsor of this show have all except for one couple of year period has been interactions with some very powerful, strong women at GoDaddy. So lots of cool things going on over there. Lots of great products and service, new top-level domains, you name it, they've got it. And really, where it starts is using my promo codes at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We've got 30% off code. We got the 99cent.coms. We've got the website builder. We got economy hosting, manage WordPress hosting. All of those products, or at least all those hosting products, are $1 a month for the first year with a free domain. Got that 30% off code. That's a big one. So use that 30% off code on new product purchases. And of course, just picking up a .com, don't worry, 99 cents, new or transfer, okay? All right, so definitely thank GoDaddy here, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central. Hey, one thing, we found all the forms. Remember I told you on the last show, my wife was stopped me midstream and basically said, find this for me. And everything's been found. Everything's been turned in. The background investigation people are, I guess, getting whatever they done. They're doing whatever they do. So next week's big week for her. She gets 2 weeks of training. Keep our fingers crossed. It's very, very tough because they, as I told you on the last show, they test them every day. And if they don't score at least an 80% on their test, they're done. They're out. And she's very, very nervous, being English as a second language. We've been going over some of the material that they've provided in advance. Most of it they don't. Going through in aviation, there's a lot of acronyms. So, and a lot of terms that people just don't use in everyday common speak, I guess for a better word. And, having been around aviation for so many years, all this to me is like ingrained when you say the word FAA or TSA or, all these terms. And again, those are the real easy ones. Um, it's can be a little bit confusing. So she's been working hard at it, and she's getting ready to take her ramp test. That's the first thing she has to do when she gets her badge and everything on Monday. So studying for the ramp test. And and for at least for Honolulu, there was no online practice test bank, sadly. But anyway, I told her to try some of because taxiways and runways and ramp areas are pretty much all the same nationwide. The ramp rules will adjust a little bit, but for the most part, they're all the same. The lines are colored the same and so forth on every runway. Just has to be from standardization. So excited for her next week. Of course, let's talk just a little bit about my big flub up. So I noticed that the episode hadn't updated on iTunes. I was getting some emails from some people saying, "Hey, the show didn't publish," and I went over to the website and I looked at the RSS feed, and sure enough, there was no episode 1105, and we're employing a caching system on Geek News Central right now, and that caching system allows the show to really stay online, or the site to stay online because of the bombardment of traffic that we get. And so I called Angela. I said, what the, what's going on with the caching system? I got a RSS feed that's not caching. I said, can you get into the caching server and take a look? And he got in and looked at there, said everything's fine, everything's working good. And I was just like scratching my head. And he says, "Hey, dude, I don't see the post on your website." And I'm like, "What?" So I logged into the dashboard, and here episode 1105 said draft. And I'm like, how in the heck did that happen? Of course, immediately hit publish. And I can tell I didn't publish it before because it dated it, for Wednesday. And I'm just standing there in a stupor. That's a first. In 11 years, that is a first. So, yes, you didn't get the show on Monday because your knucklehead host did not press publish. So, some of you got it on YouTube. Some of you knew the file naming scheme and listened that way. So, my apologies. I'm an idiot. Oh, gosh. I don't know what the heck's going on. But anyway, I'm headed for the East Coast. As a matter of fact, I'll be and I'll see if I can sneak out a show Monday during the day. I don't know. I don't think so at this point. If it is, it'll be a short one. But I'm flying Monday night. Again, the East Coast on Tuesday. Meetings Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Fly back to Honolulu on Saturday. I'm home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday evening I fly out for LA. I'll be in LA for an event Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday, I leave for Vegas. I'm at NAB the following week. So the shows are going to be kind of weird for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to get where I can and put stuff up for you. There's going to be some content coming from NAB as well, so pay attention to the website. It's not like we're going to have no content for you. So, yeah, crazy times ahead. And I just thank you for your patience. And then I get back from Vegas. I'm home a week. Then I go on another 2 week run. But I think those following 2 weeks, no issues on doing shows. So anyway, it's going to be kind of crazy around here, but going to be continuing to kicking out content for you. All right, that's it for the stack. That's all the short stack I have. I do want to thank. I talked just a little bit about it at the beginning of the show, and I want to thank the insiders. And we've got a number of great Ohana members that are contributing to the show on a weekly basis or monthly basis, and there's a variety of levels. And we got some folks that are working on their big Kahuna this year that came in at the $25 a month level. We've got a lot of Kahunas that are at the 125 a year, $125 a year. Warriors at $60. So these are all levels where it's basically 5, 12, 25, and $50 levels. And we're beginning to keep track to see as people get close to being on the Royal Council, as far as the Warrior Council as well, King's Court, all that stuff. So become an insider. Support the show at geeknewscentral.com/insider. And one thing as an oh, by the way, everything's moving forward. Podcast awards rules are up. A little bit of whining for some folks about the registration fee, but what it really boils down to is I no longer can bankroll the podcast awards. It has to stand on its own 2 feet. So we've got a GoFundMe campaign going on, and I want to hopefully we'll get all the podcasters to fund the building up of the rebuilding of the site, and we'll keep our fingers crossed here. But that is kind of the what's going to happen here. April 15th will be the nomination period kickoff, and then we'll be off to the races for that. Hopefully, this will be the last year ever on that particular website platform. All right, let me go ahead and one thing, those of you watching video right now, can you do me a favor? We're running on some new software, as I said. If you're looking at your screen right now, can you tell me what that looks like to you? Can you read the text on the site? I'm looking at the screen and I just don't think that it's that clear. And I was actually going to switch to the other screen and look myself as well. It looks blurry to me, and that is not good because to before was completely clear, and it's too bad. But I guess we're just going to have to stick to pictures. That is probably what is going to have to be the case here. All right, so let me go ahead and get into the full Monty here, and load up the show notes. I want to start off today with something that it really is not an article, but I want to talk to you about something that happened to me on Facebook. And really, in all the years I've been on Facebook, I really had never experienced this before. But I saw a story, or I saw someone that I know posted something that they had taken a 3-minute video and cut it down to 45 seconds. Or they had gotten access to a clip that was only 45 seconds. That, you know how a video will tell a story? If you see the full video, it will tell one thing, but if you see a snippet, it'll tell another. And I basically commented on the blog post. I'm saying, hey man, you're missing 2.5 minutes of the video, and what you're seeing there, and how you're describing it's not true. Well, immediately I got, I guess for a better word, attacked. And at first I was like, no, you're wrong. And then some really, hostile. And it was ladies, some very hostile ladies came out and said, "Well, you think this?" And starting to, for a better word, um, make me uh, out to be like this total jerk. And because they truly believe that the small video segment that they saw was the whole story and not the rest of the story, the lead up and stuff that happened in between. So it went kind of nuts. And what it was, I made a comment in my car while I was dropping my son off because I was waiting. They can't drop him off too early, and I was kind of flipping through and I saw this stuff and I kind of made a comment on it. And then the 30-minute drive back to the house. By the time I got here, there was like 15 people that had piled on to the thread, and then it was like, where does this guy work? Who is what company's he? And I'm like, oh my, and people I'd never heard of that just went crazy. So went to the Facebook link where that was at, and I went to because everyone had posted under my post, and I went delete. I deleted my comment, and that stopped the thread in its tracks. But I don't think. I think what we have right now, and it led me to putting something on Facebook that um, got some feedback. And let me read. Gosh, of course, I don't have Facebook loaded, but let me load it. Let me read what I said in the Facebook post. I said, "Shocking how many people take everything they read on Facebook as gospel. Can they really be that stupid?" And 28 people gave me the thumbs up and smiled. About 8 people commented. And then some folks that I know, some of you that I know on Facebook, came in with political commentary. Now, do you not realize, please, Ohana, please, 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 do you not realize that if you are going to attack and say very nasty, vile things about a political candidate in someone's blog post, do you know that you're more than likely upsetting at least 50% of the people that are in that post? Instead of responding to it, I deleted the uh, the post, the comment of the person, and two things in about 8 hours on Facebook. I was really surprised about. So everything right now is so politically charged. People are so up in arms. I tell you what we all need to do. We all need to have a beer. And we need to calm down. We need to calm down and count to 20 before we say things. I got a good friend here in Hawaii, and he has a very nice business. He's done very well for himself, but yet I see him on Facebook saying stuff about political candidates that, as a business owner, I would never, ever, 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 ever do. I just wouldn't do it. Because why alienate potential clients? If I wasn't a friend of him and know him, I know how a nice person he is, kind-hearted, lovely wife. And if I didn't know them as a couple, I've had them to my house to dinner. If I didn't know, and it's then to see what I see sometimes being posted on Facebook, if I was a third party that was looking for the services that this couple offers and saw his post, and if I was of the opposite party, I'd be like, no, I'm not calling him. You're potentially losing sales by putting political stuff, if you're a business owner, on Facebook and social media. And we can all joke. We can all rib each other one way or another, and we can debate each other when we're face to face. But sometimes some things are just better left unsaid. It's like, what did it say? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Those are the, or is it not even, or is it politics, religion, one other thing that you don't talk about, like in social media. It just makes for stinky stink. It really does. But people are so politically charged right now, and of course the candidates are given plenty of political fodder for people to be upset. But um, we all need to just ratchet it back, just a little bit, just a little bit. Hey, one thing I wanted to show you, and I watched the Tesla Model 3 unveil tonight. It was all that we had hoped it would be. 115,000 people have deposited $1,000 with Tesla today to be in line to buy a Model 3. Of course, starting at $35,000, and what that really means when they say starting, that means 50,000. So we will watch the news commentary tomorrow. But I didn't realize, and I'll be honest, I've been following the Tesla thing. I've been watching the Model S, Model X. I didn't realize that the Model 3 was going to be a starting price of where they had it. That kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be higher. I don't know how I missed that. So we're having dinner tonight, and I'm like, honey, the Model 3 Tesla's going to be starting at 35,000. And she goes, it's all electric, right? I'm like, yeah, but it's going to have between like 200 or to 300 miles range. I don't want an all electric car. And I'm like, well, honey, it's a Tesla, and we got solar on the roof, and we're making a little excess energy right now. And when it, so I'm planting the seeds. It's 35,000. This could be doable. Of course, it'd be 2 years before we can get one. So I guess I planted the seed tonight. If I can't have a Model S or Model X, which I know I can't afford, then I guess, I'll go with the average Joes and try to get a Model 3. But their stupid website hasn't updated. And I was snapping pictures um, during the review tonight. And sadly, I don't have anything to show you because this new software doesn't cooperate with me. I did see, let's see if I can bring it up. I did see, okay, yes. In the news feed, okay, here, these are courtesy of Scoble. So Robert Scoble got some images, and so if you haven't seen it yet, and I'm sure many of you will, get to see it out, online tomorrow. But nice looking sedan, very, very, very nice. And talking about the build and everything else, it's gone into it. But thanks, Scoble, for having some pictures up on Facebook and saving me here during the show tonight. But yeah, go over to Tesla.com, and most of you will get this in the morning, and go ahead and check it out. But yeah, 115,000 people today pre-ordered a Tesla, so that's pretty amazing. Hey, this is not a tech article, but I'm a little bit surprised at this particular piece. We all know that counterfeit goods are rampant now, right? You almost, if you want to buy a brand good, you have to be very careful where you're buying them from, especially if you're going online or anything like that. You have to get to a reputable dealer. But it appears that the largest food, yes, I'm saying food sting ever snagged a boatload of fake booze: whiskey, wine, vodka, coffee, olives, sugar, milk, parmesan, salmon. The list of counterfeit foods and drinks to be wary of is long and growing. A 4 month sting operation called Operation Opsin V by Interpol across 57 countries is finally wrapped up. The sum of the total cash included more than 10,000 tons of various food and millions liters of counterfeit drinks, enough to fill a swimming pool, making it the largest food sting ever conducted. So, Italian seized 85,000 tons of olives that were painted green in an effort to unload them. Um, they also found sugar cut with fertilizer, peanuts sold as pine nuts, illegal monkey meat, and a huge number of fake labels. Drinks had as many problems as food. Interpol pulled in a tens of thousands of liters of fake whiskey, wines, and other kind of booze. It's not just the familiar issue of mislabeling or watering down with plain tap water or some of the cheaper liquids. Either do-it-yourself distilleries are popping up to make nightmare versions of common spirits and putting them into familiar bottles. Last month, the UK branch of Opson raided a vodka distillery where counterfeiters were filling empty bottles of various branded vodkas with a fake version they made with window cleaner, filtered to remove its trademark blue color. Not only was the alcohol content of the fake poison version off the chart, it was unsurprising left people dizzy, nauseous, and with blood pressure problems. All these different counterfeit methods point to one reason we're seeing so much more fake foods. It's because people are able to print out labels. So if you go into some place and you see an odd shaped bottle size or something that doesn't quite look right with the color, or if you're not, you go and buy a bottle of booze, and you think about scotch or any type of these whiskeys, you make sure you're going to a legitimate, especially if you're overseas, outside the United States, make sure you're buying from a legitimate source. Who would have ever thought? I guess where the people think there's going to be some money made, you fill a bottle with, my God, think about that. Window cleaner, filter out the blue, put it in a bottle and sell it as vodka. It's got to make you shudder, doesn't it? Anyway, link will be up in the show notes for you to check out on this, okay? Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. All right. This, parents, please, if you have kids listening right now, I'm going to ask, because I'm going to tell you something that I don't want them to hear, especially teenagers. Because I don't want to get me. Okay, when I was a kid growing up, if you were on the track team or you played basketball or football, if you're really good, you might get a sports scholarship, right? You might get to go play volleyball or tennis or be on one of the sports team of the community college or at a university. And got your ride paid for, or partial college covered, right? Through a scholarship. Well, the University of California, Irvine, now has, you're not going to believe this. You're absolutely not going to believe this. The University of California, Irvine has a League of Legends scholarship now available. I'm saying this very quietly because I have a son who is absolutely crazy about League of Legends. I wish you'd take this game and I wish it would be wiped from the face of the earth. But now they have, and of course, League of Legends can arguably consider to be one of the most popular games in the world right now. And some of these guys are making big money. But for University of California, Irvine, to give out a gaming scholarship, you have got to, and I want to break out the sailor in me and start cussing here. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. With the announcement by the University of California, Irvine makes the first public university to launch a League of Legends esports scholarship program for fall this year. Riot Games will play a role as well, forking out the dough to create a new PC cafe on campus so that students there can use it. And said cafe is forged after Korean cyber cafes with the promise of a premium League of Legends experience. And now we have colleges promoting this absolute time sink of your life, waste of time. The kids don't go drinking no more. They stay all up all night binge playing games. You don't have to worry about them having a hangover. They just, they don't, they're comatose and don't move for 8 hours. I almost wish they would drink instead of, because at least then they learn the lessons of drinking too much and learn to moderate themselves. Instead, these games are just, they're like crack. They're horrible. Yes, you can tell I'm a little irritated about that particular game for good reason. Okay, Fukushima. Ice wall at Fukushima nuclear power plant has been switched on. So they have 1,550 underground refrigerator pipes in a 1.5 kilometer barrier of frozen soil around the 4 damaged reactor buildings. The pipes are 30 meters or 100 feet deep, the equivalent of a 10-story building. Engineers say coolant in the pipes will freeze the surrounding soil to minus 30 degrees Celsius, that's minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit, creating the wall over several months. And so this is what they're going to try to contain the groundwater that has all this contamination in. So I'll have the link up in the show notes for you on this piece. All right. I'm sure many of you are Mac addicts that listen to the show, and that's fine. Did you know that if you bought an iMac and you receive one of their all new Magic keyboards, that if you need to replace that, that sucker's $99? That to me is just like, wow. 99 bucks for a keyboard. Tonight, I've got a keyboard here. I'm a big fan of Dell keyboards because of the way they touch, but I've used this one about, it's been in here a while, 3-4 years, and it's getting to the point where probably needs to be stuck in the dishwasher and run through and or tore apart and cleaned up. But someone online looking for this particular model. I thought I had one more stashed somewhere, and I'm still looking for it. But I love this keyboard. So it's just like mice, or mouses. When I find a mouse I like, I buy 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But I'm going to have to go see if I can get some. This particular model's gone, but I guess I'll have to order a couple of Dell keyboards and see if they have the same keystrokes that I'm used to. But 99 bucks for the Magic Keyboard. I don't care for the Mac keyboards at all, to be honest with you. I really, really don't. They look beautiful, but I can't type very fast with them. Much slower than a regular, where I'm getting a lot more feel. I guess what's what you grew up on, yeah? All right, switching up here. Solar energy, according to EcoWatch, will lead the way for new power in 2016. They're expecting about, what's the total number here? The Solar Industry Association expects to see an additional 4 gigawatts of residential and commercial projects on top of the U.S. Energy Information Ministry projections. This solar is projected to beat natural gas and wind, which will add 8 gigs and 6.8 gigawatts of capacity, respectively. So they expect solar to generate in 2016 as much as 9.5 gigawatts of new electric power that's in the grid during daylight hours. So that's huge. It's a huge, huge, huge number. Of course, with with the current administration really impacting the clean coal initiatives, um, it's going to be a while here before, of course, nuclear being off the table, solars and other types of power generation are going to have to pick up the slack, or all your electricity bills are going to start going up, just like mine have been. Which, of course, I'm not paying electric bill right now because of my solar on my roof. but many of you are probably seeing increases in your electric bill. The FBI is distancing itself from an Arkansas prosecutor's statement that said the agency would help them unlock an iPhone belonging to two teenagers accused of murder. The Arkansas prosecutor asked the FBI for help in unlocking the device. Apparently, the FBI said, "Yep, we'll give you a hand." And it turned out that the FBI really doesn't kind of want that public, so they're kind of downplaying it. But we'll see. Pandora's box back open again, right? In a really odd article, and this is going to make your brain hurt a little bit, researchers believe they've discovered anti memories. Yes, I said that correctly. Anti memories, not like your anti, but ANTI. According to new research of Oxford University published in the journal Neuron, a team of scientists believe that they have found the neurological equivalent of antimatter. Just as antimatter acts as a mirror image of subatomic particles, these anti-memories may exist as the bizarro version of our memories. And apparently, they're figuring out that this is kind of like a way for the brain, I guess, to clean out the clutter. But anyway, they do have some scientific studies behind this in mice, not humans. But anyway, I have the link up in the show notes. You can check it out. All right, Intel has come out with a new, just absolutely screaming, new SSD with 3D NAND. No pricing on this bad boy yet, but the new SSD stand out for blistering speeds, but top out at 2 terabytes of capacity, which may be a disappointment to some customers. But the new lineup of SSDs with 3D chips includes SSD DCP3320, SSD DC3520, 3700, 3600. Of course, these are being targeted data centers and workstations, and those of you that have heavy lifting needs. But they remain behind Samsung's 15.36 terabyte storage SSD. But these are all board side, so you plug them into your motherboard. They don't go like a normal hard drive would. So again, no pricing on these bad boys yet, but they're just absolutely screamers. They have a read speed of 365,000 input output per second, which is 5 times faster than basically a standard SSD. The sequential read speed is 1,600 megabits per second. That's 3.2 times faster, and the writes are 1,400 megabits per second, which is 3.1 times faster as a normal SSD drive. So very cool stuff. On top of that, Intel has just dropped a 22-core CPU on us. Yes, 22-core CPU. It's just incredible. It's made up of Broadwell cores, and which are then combined with hyper-threading amounts to no further than 44 threads in a single socket computer. On a dual socket machine, you're looking 88 threads in a workstation. Oh my goodness. Now, hold on to your hats here. The new Xeon E5 2600 V4 is not on the Intel price list, but it is going to cost dun, da, 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 $4,115. It's $187 per core, and it's going to use about 145 watts of power. So this bad boy is going to be a massive energy consumption device. But the new Xeon series, of course, support the DDR2400 and up to 12 DIMMs per CPU socket. With registered models, that means 385 gigabits of RAM per chip using the 32 gig DIMMs. So this is a bad boy, absolute bad boy, and probably would do some damage on processing video. Absolutely outstanding. But anyway, you got $4,100 to lay down for one of the chips. It's going to fit in a lot of standard sockets right now. All right, astronomers have spotted a never-before-seen type of white dwarf star. For the first time ever, researchers have spotted a white dwarf surrounded by an atmosphere of mostly oxygen. A star of this kind, a super-dense dead star with an oxygen atmosphere, has never been seen before. Although astronomers have speculated that one might exist, Such a unique find could change how scientists think about the evolution of stars and what happens when these stellar objects go boom, in the way they do in when they die. So very, 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 very cool stuff on the solar side. Okay, don't get mad at me, but the president and President Zhao of China have vowed to sign the Paris Climate Accord as soon as it's available on April 22nd. Okay, that's cool. They're going to sign this, going to sign this accord. How many of us think that the Chinese are actually going to do anything? Now, I'm sure if the president signs this, they're going to do their best to meet those climate change initiatives here. But do you really think the Chinese are going to do that? Yeah, they're going to sign this. Oh, yes, we signed. And then they're just going to continue polluting, and Beijing and all the rest of China is going to just be this big toxic pit. I just don't think that China has it in them to clean themselves up. Of course, there's lots of court battles going on about greenhouse gas and all kinds of stuff. But if China does start initiating and cleaning up, I think I'd be shocked. I really do. And but time will tell. We'll see. We'll see if this is the case. Okay, over a little bit more news from Tesla. In popular supercharging stations, Tesla has placed attendants at those stations to help deal with demand. Now, they're not supposed to be driving the vehicles after they've been charged, but they're supposed to help coordinate and basically make sure when the cars are charged, people get back and move their vehicles. A little bit of controversy because it's also being heard that the attendants are actually moving the vehicles as well. But Tesla's onto something when their supercharge stations are full to over full to get them charged. So that's a thing that makes you go, just a little bit. Self-driving cars are at the mercy of crappy U.S. roads, it's being reported. The shoddy roads that crisscross most of the United States are hindering the development of self-driving vehicles. Reuters reported Thursday, confronted by poor road markings, inconsistent streetlights, and broken traffic signs, makers of autonomous cars are having to spend more time and money crafting new ways to navigate the roads. They're starting another 100 lane miles here in Hawaii of construction. It's never ending. It's a nightmare. It's happening all over the country. When I was in Phoenix, it was just like, my God, there was so much road construction going on. It was insane. Are you seeing that in your cities and states? Are you guys seeing that kind of road construction? But anyway, because these systems are, not necessarily using lidar, they have to, they have to have good markings on the road and so forth. The lidar system um, is a little more. It can essentially handle the bad road conditions a little better than non-lidar cars. So, but it is an interesting talking point that our roads are maybe not going to be able to support. Not all roads are going to be able to support autonomous driving. Here in Hawaii, the solar industry has been decimated with the change of the rules and the new owner of Hawaiian Electric coming in and crying to the Public Utilities Commission, and um, it's just disastrous. Massive layoffs. The number of new systems going on roofs have dropped dramatically. Essentially, what they required is if you wanted to zero out your electric bill, you had to put on about 50% more panels than what they originally did. So on my panels, I would have had to put on essentially, instead of 36 panels, I would have had to put on 48 under the new rule, still get approved to be on, to be able to completely zero out my electric bill. And that just rose the price so high that if I was a homeowner that was looking to put solar on, the math just doesn't work. And or you have to be more patient and on a 6 to 7 year payback instead of a 3.5 year payback with the way people change houses these days. Every 3 to 4 years is pretty typical in Hawaii. We're kind of odd. We've been in this house a long time um, because people are upgrading. Uh, I'm hoping that when we leave here, we downgrade and go into an apartment or a condo, something to that effect. As the kids are getting out of the house, I won't need as much house, and hopefully a lower, you know, mortgage payment as well. But anyway, that this solar industry and Sud Edison has been just destroyed. Of course, they may have had some monkey business going on with their financials as well. But here in Hawaii, the solar industry is getting devastated based upon big oil getting their way and having the Public Utilities Commission rules changed. All right, I want you to think just a little bit here. Um, and this is a hypothetical for you. And if this doesn't scare all of you, it should. Um, you know, let's say you have a teenager. He's got his own phone, taking pictures, all kinds of stuff, and something happens to your child, and either your child dies or gets sick, and essentially passes on. Well, a father is begging Apple to help unlock his dead 13-year-old's iPhone. And here's the sad part: his son, who had cancer, had given his dad access to the iPhone. Now, I guess what the dad didn't realize was that once the iPhone restarts, or once it is goes dead and you recharge it and it boots up, you just can't use your thumb to unlock the phone no more. You actually have to have the pin to unlock it, and his father doesn't have the pin, but he does. He is authorized via the fingerprint to open the phone. So this father saying, "I got my son has 2 months of photos and selfies, and I want to get them off. Those are 2 months of memories." And Apple's basically flipping the guy the bird. So if you have kids with phones, you need to set some policies internally on passwords and that kind of stuff so that, God forbid, something happened, that you'd be able to get into to your kid's phone. Now, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it when dad says, "Hey, I need to know your PIN." They may just go change it anyway, being teenagers. But um, we have to do everything we can do to make sure we're able to stay in the phones. If that means um, forcing our kids to get over passwords, that's what it's going to require, right? All right, ICANN, generic top-level domains are causing major headaches for online businesses. And because there's so many TLDs, like .review, .reviews, .sucks, .careers, .loans, you name it. If you have trademarks, you have to be able to, protect that trademark. And if you don't register a domain and there's trademark infringement, then you got to go through the battle and the lawyer and all that stuff that has to happen. But I think companies now are going to have to decide what their priority is for the GLTD purchases, and be mindful of the fact that domains are both property and inventory. And you have to renew those domains every year and put in a budget line for that. And if you're going to have all these new TLDs, you need to, you have to register, especially if it's like a .sucks or something like that. The To do a arbitration on a domain, it's about $5,000 to do an arbitration claim. So it can be expensive. So get your domains on these TLDs, and if you don't, be aware that you may be in trouble. But it's just the way things are right now with these new top level domains. I've been trying to buy some up, but boy, it can get crazy expensive. It really, really can. Hey, Uber is trying to raise fares in some small and mid-sized cities. So Uber's raising its fare 10% in Pittsburgh, the city where the company is currently building a gigantic facility to build and test self-driving cars. But they've also raised fares in a handful of smaller cities like Louisville, Kentucky, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Arkansas, and uh, Ventura and Fresno, California. So just be aware that the fares are going up in some places. And basically, Uber says they have to take care of their drivers more. Uh, I don't know if I buy that, but at least that's their excuse. Hey, the iPhone SE is a new phone, same kind of parts that's been in the in some of the recent phones. So don't worry. If you do buy the SE, you're getting good guts, an A9 chip, and of course a lot of the technology that's in the iPhone 6 and so forth. So just be aware that the teardown is good news for those of you that are thinking about getting SE and getting the performance out of it that you want. This next, I'm just gonna just read you guys the title of this in the first paragraph, and I don't even know if I need to go any further. But security vulnerabilities have been found in the United States Visa database, according to ABC News. Cybersecurity experts have found vulnerabilities in a U.S. State Department system that could have allowed hackers to alter visa applications or steal data from more than the 500 million records on file. ABC News reported citing sources familiar with the matter. The department learned after an internal review several months ago that its Consular Consolidated Database, CCD, was at risk of being compromised through they think no breach had occurred, although they can't confirm it. So if you've got you've got someone that holds a visa, someone that holds a fiance visa or uh, they call it used to call it a green card. I don't think that's the proper word for it anymore, but it looks like a lot of that data could have been made available. So not surprised, government systems old and easily getting hacked. All right, the iPad Pro 9.7 inch, lots of reviews coming out on it. I want to go touch one and play with it a little bit, but definitely a nice looking machine for some of the videos I've seen. The iPad Pro is, obviously raised some eyebrows when it debuted last year, but this new 9.7 inch version of the Pro, um, it was, kind of touted by Apple as being a PC replacement, but everyone's saying nope, 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 nope. But everyone's saying that this 9.7 inch iPad Pro is incredible. Uh, from a screen standpoint, performance standpoint, et cetera, et cetera. So, very, very cool. And definitely going to want to touch one and play with one here as soon as I can. Cloudflare, and I use Cloudflare at Geek News Central. Thank God, if we didn't have Cloudflare, the hackers they just bad, bad, bad. Well, anyway, Cloudflare is saying 94% of Tor traffic is per se malicious. A lot of websites today are blocking users of the anonymizing Tor network or degrading the services they receive. Again, Cloudflare suggests that it's because of this malicious content. And actually, Cloudflare has now made Tor and Tor traffic sites their own country in their database. So you can basically now block Tor traffic specifically, make it authenticate before it gets to the website. This is good news for those of you using Cloudflare like I am. But boy, oh boy, it's sad that the Tor traffic is like that. And it's mostly comment spam and it's lots of you know people running scripts and stuff against websites. So 94% of Tor traffic, it's amazing, is malicious. How many of you have used Postmates? I'm not at all familiar with Postmates.com, and they had some news today that made me sit up and kind of read. They're kind of let me actually put this up, and so it's on demand 24/7. Get the best of your city delivered in minutes. So, for example, I'm going to go here to Arizona, and I was in Phoenix. Let's look at what's available in Arizona and Phoenix. You can get a Whataburger. You can get Walgreens stuff delivered, PetSmart, Safeway, Best Buy, of course, pizzas, you name it, can be delivered through Postmates. And they've got an unlimited now service, just like Amazon, that you can sign up for. And so, as an example, you can order from Five Guys Burger and Fries. Looks like the menu prices are about the same, but you can have this all delivered to your house. So, pretty cool stuff. I used a service when I was in Albuquerque that I honestly was not impressed with. It was one of those types where you could pick a variety of restaurants and then a company would deliver it. I saved their flyer because I'm going to do a blog post about them. And went through, called in the order. It took a while. The gal had a hard time finding the menu items. It was really kind of a clunky, crappy ordering process. And then, I went through this whole rigmarole with this company online, and then she gave me the price. It was like $10 higher. And I'm like, this doesn't make no sense. I know you charge $5 to deliver, and I got that calculated out. Why is it $10 higher? And she's, oh, you had an old menu, and the prices are up. And in long story short, I ended up getting the food because it was a show night, and I wanted to, eat in the room and do the show. And then the guy shows up, and you got my bag, and I pay the guy. The tip was already included. I didn't have to pay a tip. The gratuity was already in there. And it was a little light. So I think I gave him a couple of bucks. Went in the room, opened my bag up, and I got food, but no napkins, no silverware, no condiments, anything. I was so pissed. The guy was already gone. I went and gave him the couple extra bucks if I had known that the service was going to be so crappy. Um, and I just ate and was mad. So, um, it's just that's the way it is. But anyway, Postmates. So, how many of you had any experience with Postmates? Love to hear from you. If you want Apple CarPlay in your current vehicle, Pioneer has a $400 head. Yes, they call it a head unit that you can get available today on Amazon. So I'll have that link up in the show notes. Adam Savage, you guys know who Adam is, right? Well, he went off to Comic Con, the Silicon Valley Comic Con, and he went as Hellboy. People were pretty impressed with his outfit and figured out who he actually was. So anyway, he was outed pretty quickly. But this cosplay stuff is huge. It is really, truly amazing. All right, the FCC is today came out with where regulators have tentatively voted to restrict how internet service providers use information about their customers, online browsing, and in a proposal that cable and telephone companies say will benefit Google, Facebook, and other web companies not covered by the rules. But the FCC would require companies such as AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast to get permission from subscribers before sharing information. That's one thing I'm going to opt out of. I don't want my internet service provider to see what services I'm using and sampling my data. Talk about FanDuel a little bit here and DraftKings. They've gotten a lot of trouble, but according to reports coming out, FanDuel and DraftKings are getting out of the college sports for now. So they're suspending action on college play. According to a report by ESPN, this action is a result of negotiations between the online sports betting service and the NCAA, which not shockingly opposes any kind of betting on college sports. They don't want some pressure being put on players or players being able to go in and being on FanDuel and DraftKings and maybe being able to throw a game. So that's what it kind of boils down to. There's a company out of Australia called Redflow. Home batteries to start shipping in June. So this is an interesting device, a 6.4 kilowatt hour battery, about 10,000 Australian. So, new battery company. For those of you that want to get off the grid, definitely check this company out. I have the link up in the show notes. The FCC also today approved broadband subsidies for low-income Americans, giving them a $9 and $25 a month credit. So, yeah, the agency just passed a plan to provide $9.25 a month to qualified families. The program's been in the works for a while, dubbed the Lifeline program. And what else? See here. Today, 1 in 5 people do not have access to broadband at home, and the vast majority of those discovered are poor. Only about 40% of people earning less than $20,000 a year can afford broadband, while 95% of all households making over $150,000 have high broadband. So, $9 and a quarter will be some credits. I don't know if that's going to buy internet service or not, but that might help them a little bit. Of course, I'm a big aviation fan, and if you like watching cockpit video, got a good one for you. I'll have that up in the show notes for you tonight to definitely check out. Jay-Z, can't feel real sorry for this guy, but the hip-hop mogul says he wants some of his $56 million back from buying Tidal. He says that they didn't have as many subscribers as they did, although they're up to like 3 million subscribers now from 540,000 when they bought it, but they're going back to court to try to get some of their cash back. Hey, Reddit has announced that their transparency report. In early 2015, Reddit published a transparency report that contained a heading for national security requests as nothing. As of January 29, 2015, Reddit has never received a national security level. Well, 5 hours ago, the Reddit published its 2015 edition, which contains no mention of classified requests for user information. So, in other words, they may have gotten a letter saying we need some information. So, Reddit admin says, answering questions about new transparency report says he'd been told not to comment on the dead canary. So, for those of you that understand that, I have the link up in the show notes, and you can check it out. Astronomers have found a neutron star in our Andromeda galaxy. So, got one out there. So, the scientists honed in on one. Link will be up in the show notes. Also, the new building material coming to you that are out there building houses, transparent wood. Yes, you heard me correctly. Transparent wood could replace glass and could become the coolest building material ever. In Sweden, they were able to remove the fibers in wood that causes it to be brown, and were able to make it clear, filling it with a polymer. Let you check it out yourself. Very, very cool. And finally tonight, a wannabe super villain, built his own thermite cannon and almost got himself thermite. So I'll have the link up in the show notes. You get to see the video. It's been making the rounds. All I can say is if you're going to make a thermite gun, you better, for a better word, have it go a little bit further than what his did. And it's pretty cool. Nice steampunk design. So I'll let you check it out. Oh, one more thing. You have a Toshiba laptop? Well, a huge number. Huge. About 100,000 units have been recalled. So, United States Consumer Product Safety Commission announced a recall for battery packs and Toshiba laptops sold between June of 2011 and January 2016. The recall affects nearly 40 different Toshiba models of PCs, including the Protege, the Satellite, the Tecra, and basically the CPSC estimates the recall will be about 100,000 units. So, and about 10,000 in Canada. So again, if you have a Toshiba laptop that you bought back in that time frame, be aware they are under recall. All right, let me go ahead here, and I should have had this open earlier, and I did not. How are we doing for time? Oh, a little long today. It's okay. You've had 3 short shows in a row. And I want to get to my email because I think there was some stuff that came in. And of course, complaining. Let me get this folder opened up here. Or can I go the other way and get it? Maybe I can get it faster this way. I go over here, click on that. And what is today's? Today's the 31st. Okay. Remember that email that I talked to you about Homeland Security sending out? Well, I got something from US CERT that talks about ransomware and recent variants and goes into the email that businesses were sent by Department of Homeland Security. So this is the same one. And I'll have the link up in the show notes on this. But they go into malware, ransomware, impacts, what can be done, how you can protect yourself, the whole 9 yards. So I just wanted to pop that in here for you today. And let's see here. What was this other one? I got an email from Jeff. He said, Todd, oh, I think I had this maybe in the show notes already, but it's an article over at BGR.com talking. Oh, yeah, I've already talked about this. So, Jeff, you got some double bonus here on the show tonight. But yes, you guys are ignoring me. Am I being a bad host? You guys not loving the show? What's going on? Not emailing me. Geeknews@gmail.com. So, guilting you into dropping me a note. Love to hear your feedback, positive or negative. And anyway, that's going to bring us to an end here today. On with Rob Greenlee tomorrow morning with the new media show. We may have Nick Quad on. Those of you who probably have no idea who he is. There's some podcasters listening, you probably do. Hopefully he'll be on the show with us, but lots to talk about in space. Let me know what you think about the new player on geeknewscentral.com. And, of course, drop me an email here at Geek News. Support our sponsors, please, as we go into April. We're going to have some makeup to do this month. We'll see. I don't get to see all the data, but I think I'm about 10 or 11% behind this month. So total numbers will be known in a couple of days. I don't want to panic yet, but I don't know why. It had a little dip here this past month, but just the way it works sometimes, I guess. But thanks everybody for being here, and take care. Definitely consider becoming an insider. We can use your support. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.